Hello, friends and lovers. Welcome back to another Hades 2 run. We're going to do the ultimate Hestia build, or at least that's what I'm going to attempt to do. We're going to do Aspect of Nyx, mostly just because I haven't really used it in a while. It seems like a decent way to apply a lot of Scorch. And of course, if you're going to do a Hestia build, you have to do Big Scorch, as far as I can tell. Basic Arcana build is something that you'd probably expect with Aspect of Nyx here. We got 16 Year On, just to keep things a little interesting, but not too interesting, hopefully. We reroll this, so we don't know what we get here, and let's get it going. I just want the highest amount of Scorch to apply here. There's a lot of things to consider with this. Pyrotechnique makes your Scorch tick faster. Or is it harder or faster? I already forgot here, basically. But, yeah, that's something to consider for sure. At the same time, Freezer Burn, the duo between Hestia and Demeter, causes your Scorch to explode. And there's kind of an anti-synergy between the two. In other words, I don't think you'd want both of them. I guess we're going to rarefy the special and start off with this. So we'll have explosive fire rockets here going on, essentially. This could be interesting. I would actually not be totally opposed, roll her away, to taking Hestia's attack here as well. I want to apply more Scorch is what I'm thinking. Maybe even her cast, but of course you do want a way to apply Origination at the same time, right? Could be interesting. But the gods with the duos that would be interesting here, probably Zeus with thermal dynamics. Blitz makes enemies take more Scorch. Or, sorry, popping Blitz makes Scorch happen. There's no Demeter here, so Freezer Burn's off the table. I'm kind of okay with that. Freezer Burn's kind of a wonky one, to be honest. But Zeus could be interesting, which means we'd have to take his attack if we want to get thermal dynamics, which could be fun. And then we could still take Hestia's cast to get more Scorch going and then get more of that happening. Ares, on the other hand, doesn't really synergize much with Scorch as far as we can tell, besides maybe Blood Drops. Aphrodite does have the infinite Scorch thing, which could be interesting. I do want to pay attention to rarities. Why don't we take Zeus now? And I'm going to kind of hope that we could get his attack here, really. But I don't want to push it too hard because I don't think it's the most interesting duo. Man, I cannot get this Scorch on this guy. He keeps blocking my aspect thing here. Good thing we're line of sighting this doppelganger there. Ooh. What do you got for us, my friend? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now thermal dynamics is a possibility. Blitz is just a generally strong thing. I'll be quite disappointed if it turns out that Blitz overshadows the Scorch. Let's just hope that's not the case. So now we're going to take a lot of Hestia here, essentially. It's possible I should have saved Zeus then on a door, but we'll be okay. So I guess if we're not going to do a Freezer Burn thing, which I think I will avoid, we really want... I don't know why I did Omega Cast there, of all things. We do really want... Pyrotechnique then, and we want a high rarity Pyrotechnique. Ideally, you'd palm it too. Don't know if that's really going to happen. I do think highly flammable is quite decent. There is smoldering, like we have discussed. All these are common, and I was kind of thinking about how you want to do that. Let me think for a second here. 40 per second, plus 50 for the first time. I do like that boon pretty well here. Good question. I think we just start taking them. Because we want many, many Hestias. I guess I was thinking, like, which one would I want a higher rarity on, potentially, in the future? I'm not sure, though, I guess. One of the reasons why I wanted to do Hestia next, by the way, is kind of because... I mean, I didn't only get one comment, but there was a recent singular comment that said, Hestia is the worst god. I will never take her boons. She's totally useless. They need to rework the whole mechanic. It's like, I understand that, like, in a tier list and stuff, she might wind up on the bottom, but we're not talking about difference between a rating of 1 and a rating of 10, for instance, you know? I feel like the worst god in this game, or even in Hades 1, is still like, I don't know, a 6 out of 10 in terms of usefulness for the most part. We're probably going to want that hammer. I know I tend to avoid Hestia as well, but at the same time, in like my average run, but at the same time, whenever I do like a Hestia focus run, I still have a good time is the way I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? I think that we as gamers, we just want to look at things as black-white. Things are either good or bad, you know? And a whole, like, any kind of gray area is just too complex for us to some degree, right? It's either OP or it's useless. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we look at it. For whatever the reason. Okay, we got a rare pyrotechnique. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to take it. Your Scorch effects deal damage faster, 75% faster rate. Now, Scorch does get affected by some global damage bonuses, like Shameless Attitude and some other things. It does not get affected by, say, Rallying Cry, though, or Extended Family, unfortunately, from Hera. So that would not be useful. But other global damage modifiers would be helpful at the same time. Let's get out of here. We still do want more Hestia, I'm going to say. I might consider using our Rarefy. We have 3 chambers left. I might end up taking the Aphrodite. I'm not sure, though, yet.
Not this.
Yeah, I'm going to leave Zeus on a door and then roll a different one, I'm thinking. Yay. Boink. I just want to get as much Hestia on ourselves at the start as possible, because it's kind of hard to reliably get any one particular god after this first zone here on the surface, it feels. Especially in the second zone where, you know, the rewards, I guess, a bit more strict. That's the way I look at it. Woo. I think the main thing here, and actually I better look into this, right? The main thing with Hestia is that her legendary is just so underwhelming. So underwhelming. Speaking of which, if I want to get her legendary, I need to take Glowing Coal here at some point. Thermodynamics, so your blitz effects also inflict Scorch whenever they deal damage. I mean, you can't turn that down. It's going to actually add quite a bit of Scorch to our dudes. Our dudes? You know what I mean. Especially since blitz automatically pops sometimes nowadays. Well, sorry, all the time. I guess we do still need magic for this build. I probably shouldn't have taken Rocky. Pretty sure Scorch can't crit. There's still a lot of things like I'm going to say I'm pretty sure or I'm not positive when it comes to Hestia-related things or Scorch-related things.
Something else.
Nice, still got another Hestia here. I might just take the hammer instead of more Hestia after this point. But yeah, we do want to consider Glowing Coal just to look at her legendary, which unfortunately is not very good. I tried her legendary a few different ways. Interesting, we had an enemy even after the reward spawned. Heat Rush. I do like Flash Fry. I think it's a good boon. I don't think Heat Rush is a particularly useful boon. I know it has that one use against Eris, I guess, and I guess other enemies that shoot projectiles. It's just so weird. 6 Scorch per projectile is just such a teeny, tiny amount. I honestly feel like it should start at like 20, 30, 40 and scale up much higher than that or something, because that teeny tiny amount of Scorch does teeny tiny nothing, right? It's just strange. I feel like that boon could be easily more interesting if they just adjusted the number, but at the same time, I don't know if I would still use it that often, but I could at least consider it, you know? I don't love the idea of purposely running around in circles, wasting time to avoid projectiles, but it would add some strategy, I guess, that I otherwise would not be using. All right, what do we got for ourselves here? I'm not going to be using that. I'm not going to be using that. We're mostly just going to be using our regulars, so it's probably has to be Rapid Frame, sadly. Nothing particularly interesting here for our regular special, which is probably what we wanted. What can you do, though, huh? What can you do? We got for ourselves here. Tall Order. Well, we might get up to 8 fire at this rate. That's the hope, at least. So I think I'm okay with taking that. I know it's awfully early for that.
Interesting.
Gotta watch the timer here. Oh, what? There is a door. I kind of like the spicy timer more than most other forms of fear, personally. It kind of just makes you kind of think. It also keeps up the pacing of the video sometimes, maybe. Can't take all the excess doors in Tartarus if we're doing the underworld, for instance. Yeah, we do want to take some Aphrodite. We're probably going to take the max magic, too. Like we said, Shameless Attitude would be nice. Secret Crush isn't that big of a deal. I guess there's Heartbreaker. There is the infinite Scorch with her, which isn't wrong. But I don't find it particularly useful oftentimes. So Glamour Gain would probably be fine here. Rapture Ring would be interesting. Is it worth rolling here? I don't want Passion Rush, especially since I kind of plan to use the file for highly flammable. I don't think Heartbreaker is that good for us, given that we're mostly only using magic via the dash. So that's pretty weak. One little rolly. It is tempting to take Shameless Attitude, but I guess we can go for the Infinite Scorch. Just to keep things a bit more interesting. I think I will take that as well. Okay. This way we can still file highly flammable. Get more Scorch on our enemies. I kind of miss, there was briefly a boon from Hestia that would, was it a duo? I've kind of already forgotten. That could let you keep doubling the Scorch on enemies. But then it was hard to spend the Scorch was the problem at that time. It might have been the Demeter one. Look at it go. Okay, my friend. I mean... Yeah, it would be quite disappointing if it turned out Blitz is doing most of the work. And Scorch ain't doing a whole lot. Time will tell, though. Glamour Gain might be enough magic for this build, too, is the truth. So we're going to use the file. It's going to hit highly flammable. It goes from 50 to 125 at the start. It's not bad, right? We're probably good on max magic nowadays. I'm going to hope at least.
Done there.
I can't guarantee we'll get the Hestia Legendary, but I think even in Ultimate Hestia build, it shouldn't really matter if you get her Legendary, because her Legendary is just so low impact. It just does not affect almost anything with a run. Yeah, if there's one thing I really would like to see them rework, it's this one boon. If you gave me the choice, one thing for them to change in this game, it's going to be this Legendary. I say this Legendary like I'm going to get it. IMOs. Or more. I think that would be the one thing. I think so. There's some bigger overarching things than a singular boon. Because I guess at the end of the day, a single legendary boon out of 9 gods. 10 gods if you count Hermes, since he has a legendary, right? Is that really the high priority? I don't know. It just feels like it's a relatively easy fix. F has fire, doesn't he? I believe so.
Need to get closer.
What is their duo again? Can I remember? Is that... It's not Warm Breeze, no. Okay, I'm just going to sit back here and use the special for a second. Okay, lovely. He does indeed have fire. Smithy Rush. What is their duo? Do I remember? No? Chain React. Oh, okay, yeah. So not very interesting, sadly. So we can still take his dash. It's fine. Because there's not many other dashes I'd care about here. Because he's our 4th god, right? And I wouldn't really want Zeus's dash. I wouldn't want Aphrodite's dash much. So that's fine. I could roll to try to get something defensive, but... Yeah, whatever.
Delivery arrived.
We'll fill a slot here. Now, mint condition is nice as a defensive for sure. I wouldn't mind leaving the cast open in case we do get Hestia's offered still at the same time. It's really hard to turn down mint condition in any run. You see mint condition in a run, it's borderline the new Athena's dash, and at the same time Athena's dash is actually in this game, right? Mint condition, when you think about it, it's the one defensive boon you need, and then it allows you to focus on all offense after that. Because if you clear the room fast enough, mint condition will cover you for the entire time, right? Is one way of looking at it. Come on, fire those rockets.
Beginning attack run.
He's back.
I'm watching the rockets land, and you're getting a good amount of scorch off of each time. Off of the start, I guess, is how I would describe it. Because of highly flammable. I mean, it's not a small amount. Woo. I might be doing the dash thing a little too much. Oh, I guess we're doing that.
Nicely done.
More fire from Hermes would be nice. Nitro boost travel deal. Try to make sure we get up to 8 fire for his infusion that we already picked up. hard to turn down Nitro Boost, right? I think the block this is actually semi-meaningful here.
Mountains of
Let's see. Genius Flourish? Yeah, I kind of like it here, right? Supply chain isn't wrong. Maybe you could buff up Pyrotechnique or something, right? In particular. But I don't know. Ingenious Flourish does sound pretty good. Plus 20 power on these rockets is pretty damn nice. Nice, more Hestia. So again, if we want to get our legendary, we need either Glowing Coal or Controlled Burn. Controlled Burn requires you to use your Omega Special, which I don't really plan to make use of at this rate. Given we're Aspect of Nyx. You know? Send them back. Have a rocket or two. Wow, and then they kind of just melt from the Scorch after I throw a rocket at them. Well, again, more Scorch equals more fun, right? And Slow Cooker is a pretty damn good infusion, too, here. I'm going to take Smoldering, though. Did we get a mid-shop in the Rift of Thessaly? That's pretty rare on its own. More Hestia, yes. Glamour gain, less than optimal. Oh, no! Don't do it. I didn't look at my dollar amounts correctly. Charon! Charon, no! Italian mistake. 3 cents short. Woo! Look at it go, baby. Oh my god, that's nice. Down 1 Hestia boon. Can't believe I buffed. Ugh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Glamour gain. Instead of getting a Hestia boon. Flash Fry got buffed. Okay. I'm going to say we don't need the help. Come on, Pyrotechnique. Or maybe one of the things that applies Scorch. You'd probably want to hit up Pyrotechnique at least once. I do have a run from, like, last patch where we palmed Pyrotechnique an insane amount, if I recall correctly. I kind of can't remember how it went exactly, but it was certainly goofy at the least.
Straightforward.
What do you got here? Highly flammable, plus 25 at the start. Oh, these are all quite good. Plus 20 per second, plus 5 per rocket. I don't think it's a special. I'd say it's either the cast or flammable here. 20 per second, 25 the first time. I feel like it's the cast. What do we think? Okay. Very nice, thank you. I kind of love the curse soup thing going on nowadays, too. And Hestia is like a good one for the mix. Hestia, Demeter, Zeus. Like, all 3 of those are pretty good curses to just have out there destroying the enemies for you. Maybe even like Hitch, too, to some degree. Let's just take the max health, shall we? It seems to work surprisingly well. Good thing Mint Condition is here to save me. Okay, we got a shop coming in. Don't mess it up this time. Show me another Hestia to make up for earlier. It's not my fault, Charon. I'm going to say we don't need the max magic, but could probably use some max health. What do you got? Don't worry, it's Hestia. Trust me, I can tell. I can tell. What'd I say? What'd I say? What'd I say? Burnt Offering. You just don't need it. Do you just fill in Controlled Burn to try to see if her legendary appears? Because this is pretty much useless. It's such a strange boon the way it's worded, by the way. Gain plus 5 max magic for each ash you collect. Gain some ash now. It does mean you literally get 15 ash, and it's 15 times 5 for your max magic. So it's a lot. But I feel like it's, I don't know, I feel like it's just kind of a weirdly worded, is how I would describe it. I guess we're going to take Controlled Burn. Even though it's not good, really, for us. Maybe we'll get our legendary. Just so I can complain about it some more, you know? Oh, we're talking about Aspect of Nyx.
Which deemed me worthy to be its bearer. Perhaps so I could discipline you in your mother's stead.
Have I never been here with this aspect?
Hey, I used to fight with Nyx all the time, but not like this. This is way better.
She's so quiet today.
Mother, give me the best you've got.
Come on, mother. Something so weird about the way she says it. Mint condition, still going, still going. Scorch was getting up pretty high. So we'd like to expend it more easily. So I know we have one duo for the Scorch. And I know I kind of already brought up Freezer Burn. I kind of don't like Freezer Burn when you're trying to do a Scorch-centric run, because you can't apply Scorch while the enemies are kind of on that freeze cooldown. It's the way I understand it. So usually you wind up applying just a little bit of Scorch, and then you gotta wait a long time before you can apply more after you pop Freezer Burn. So Freezer Burn feels more like the kind of boon you'd pick up when you're just dealing a little bit of Scorch via, say, the cast or something in a normal run. I feel like if you're doing a Scorch-centric run, you kind of don't want Freezer Burn, is the way I'm looking at it. And you don't want to invest in something like Pyrotechnique if you also have Freezer Burn, or vice versa, you know, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, what do we want? So we have all of our fire. I can't force more Hestia. We could force some more global damage via Aphrodite and consider some... consider the infinite Scorch, I guess, at the same time, right? Could be funny, at least.
I can't afford this.
God. Why do they gotta keep doing this to me, huh? I just want some boons. I love answering questions. I'm realizing now I love to answer questions from YouTube comments, but I don't answer them in the comments. I save it for a video. No, I actually do. I do actually reply to the comments, but I think for this one I did not, because it's more of just an opinion or something, and I just wasn't certain what to say. But it was an interesting question, which is that what's the #1 best piece of advice for beginners? And I don't know if they meant Hades 2 or Hades 1 or either game. I'm not certain what they were exactly looking for, to be honest. But it did make me think. It's like, like, I'm only allowed one thing to say. I'm only allowed the one thing. Ooh, launcher frame is nice. That sounds good for us, right? There we go. That's funny.
My silver shine.
I guess one thing is, if you're new to either game or both games,
Good job.
one thing you might not realize is just how useful the God Keepsakes are. However, the God Keepsakes aren't going to be very useful if you don't know what boons are going to be the strongest for any given situation too, right? So I guess I'm not really sure. It's like my instinct is to say the God Keepsakes are more powerful than you think when you know what boons to aim for, right? I think that's what I would say. I think most players do eventually figure it out, but when you're new to the game, understandably, you might not think like, oh, this is just a wasted slot, right? Like, I'm going to get boons anyway, so I'm not going to bother to waste a whole keepsake for a zone or two. I mean, I could be using, like, Mom Pom the whole time or something like that.
In the name of Hades.
Romantic Spark, you say? Do we want to take it? It kind of goes against our build a little bit, but it might actually do something. I'm going to say nah.
Infinite possibility.
Okay, game. There's no point in taking more wind as far as I could tell. I definitely don't want to roll again. Wispy Wiles is not particularly useful. I guess we'll get it out of here. Yay, more Hestia. I think that's what I would say.
Let's begin.
Boink. Mint condition. Go, 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 go. Boink. Let the Scorch do the work, baby. Look at it go. Nice. Nice, 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 nice.
In the name of Hades.
Hot pot. 4 Scorch things. I could get the legendary here. I might just take more stuff from her in the meantime, though. Hot pot seems okay. Glowing coal is... you know. Kinda I'm gonna take more palms here. Maybe we can hit Pyrotechnique, right? That's the way I'm looking at it.
More sky dragons.
But I don't know. If y'all got... Like, what's something you kind of wish you knew when you first started out playing Hades? Because I guess I'm not totally sure for myself. Woo! I think one thing sometimes I see when I browse like the subreddit and stuff. We're not gonna roll this. Guess the special it is. Sometimes you see people, oftentimes you see people asking for advice, right? And sometimes the advice that people give is simply, you know, get good at the game, hit the buttons better or something like that. And I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I think both Hades games are like 75% about decision making and only 25% about god gaming skills. At least when you play the game in a what I'll describe as a normal fashion. You know what I mean? You're not doing crazy challenge runs. You're just trying to beat the game. You know what I mean? I honestly do believe it's like 75%, maybe even more decision making than, you know, cutthroat, hand-eye coordination, reaction timing. Like mid condition is like a key point here. You know, you can really make a lot of things arbitrary via something like that if you just know what to go for. Having said that, you know, without, unless you want to watch like 16 tier lists and 12 different guides and read up all this and that stuff, you're not really going to know what is best anyway, right? Defensive posture, despite a being epic, is not very good. Divine dash is kind of always good. Mental block is okay. It doesn't give you as much deflection. But mental block is a bit more offensive. Not by a ton, though. Hey, let's go Dio. Let's go Dio. Give me some more cursed soup here, maybe. Shall we? Hey, there you go. Drunken Stupor kind of works for that, I suppose. Not really that excited for every 8 seconds, making you stronger while in it. And fog bonus damage plus 30%. With once again, I'm coming back to, does that affect Scorch? Don't think I'd want Tipsy Shot. So this, the only Omega I'm using is the dash thing, right? So yeah, it's not that crazy, honestly. How long does Hangover last? Oh, 4 seconds, I see. It's more likely that I get use out of Happy Haze is the way I'm looking at it. Assuming it even helps with Scorch. In which case, I'm just gonna have to hope that it do. I'd have to look at the code to confirm it. Exactly. Go, Zeus. Whoa. Talking about, like, the things you wish you knew beforehand when you played a game. I think for me, personally, and I'd love to know how other people feel about this, I kind of don't want to know anything going into a game. You know what I mean? I kind of purposefully I don't want to know anything. And I know there's some games that are very obtuse, and, like, if you don't know this thing, that the game kind of punishes you and it's not fair or something like that. But I don't know. Even unpleasant surprises can be kind of funny or interesting in their own way, is the way I look at it. Ooh, more Hestia. Let's go. Smolder Ring. 15 more per second. Well, so it got to be the way. What do you think? Is it legendary time? Not yet. We should probably throw out one roll here. 11 fire. Slow cooker is pretty damn sexy now, then. One roll A. Burning Desire instead. While foes are weak, any scorch they have does not diminish as it deals damage. The truth is, how much do we need this? We have to ask ourselves, right? But it is funny. Slow cooker might actually be better, giving 22 power per, right? Is actually a very real possibility. It's just like it's a nice addition to our build here. Look at the Scorch go up, because it can't go down anymore. But unfortunately, he purges it when he goes up, I believe. Which is too bad. It'd be nice if Scorch had like a sort of secret thing like that, is the best way I'm trying to describe it. Scorch was... Maybe one thing to make Scorch more interesting would be to Make it so it could go through. So I'll get up to over 2,000. That's the problem with damage over time mechanics when we have bosses that are constantly becoming invulnerable, right? It keeps taking it off them, and then we have to start over, right? And that feels pretty bad. Whoa. Send them back to mama. There we go. Oh, hello. My there we go was a little preemptive.
If you could see did what needed to be done.
I think
See you later.
Hestia is missing one key piece to herself, and it really is the legendary. Something that interacts with Scorch, you know? So if we get to the point where, say, we are here right now, there's a more interesting way to spend the Scorch, use the Scorch, whatever way you want to look at it, I suppose. What do we want now here, exactly? What doth we wanteth? I don't know. Extended family, remember, does not work, so global damage bonuses might be from really just Aphrodite for the most part. I'm gonna assume Grievous Blow, the double damage thing, right? Also would not work. Mutual Destruction also does not work with Hestia, although I don't know off the top of my head. Mystery Hammer for fun. Mystery Hammer for fun. Let's go. Reaper Frame. Attacks have plus 10 power and deal damage in a larger area. Oh, can't complain. Take both of those. Onward, upward. Boink, boink, boink.
I'll show myself in.
You know, it was kind of interesting. It took us a while to figure out what this place was called. It's like, we are kind of not certain. It's like, is it the peak?
Special delivery.
I think we eventually settled on it's called the summit. Or at least that's what I've settled on calling it. Furnace Blast ain't great. More fire doesn't actually do anything either, so we should probably just take Uncanny Fortitude. Get the money from those. But yeah, I don't know. Like, all the other places have quite obvious names to them, it seems, whereas this is not quite so obvious. Some people would say, like, Palace of Zeus, but now I'm not so sure. Maybe the Triple Palm. We want to try to force Hestia. We'll try. Oh, no. I'll go Triple Palm, then, in case we can get something nice with it. More Scorch, or Scorch-related things, I suppose. Since Aphrodite can't give you much. Again, it could be... look at that Scorch! 2775. Keep going, baby! Come on, melt him. Melt him. I'm trying to wait it out. Kill him? Wait, it can't... It could kill him. It just took a very long time. It took a surprising amount of time.
Out with you.
Smoldering, an extra 30 gained. Well, it doesn't do a whole lot anymore, right? Like, with Typhon, he's never going to run out of Scorch, so that does nothing. So I guess it has to be mint condition. Typhon will never run out of Scorch.
Next floor.
I guess with the ads, you could argue maybe it'll help, but still kind of questionable, right? Okay, all right. Relax, game. Boink, 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 boink. Very nice. Ooh, Hestia for our last boon here. Once again, we're kind of struck with... I guess if her legendary appears, just to say that we took it, I will take it. But at the same time, Slow Cooker would 100% be a more useful boon right now. Boink. I'm watching the orange bar go down. Come on, baby. Took a big hit at the end there. Monster repelled. Okay. What do you got? No. No rolls either, huh? Fine, I'll finally take your glowing coal game. Finally. Hestia. No! Whatever.
I'll take it.
What can you do, huh? Ugh. And then even all of these are kind of, ugh. Well, it's not, it would be useless to swap these, actually, now that I say it. Now that I'm thinking it, I should say. We're not spending enough magic to make Heartbreaker interesting. Probably.
Wow.
After that, taking another Hef boon. There's martial art, but I only have 3 rocks, so that's not that good. So honestly, I think you just take this stuff. And we say, Arrivederci. No more monies, right? Is there anything else from Hermes? I don't know. I do like the refinement. I do think Slow Cooker is one of the better infusions, too. So Hestia's got that going for her, right? Potentially one of the better ones, I think. Okay. Then we slam dunk for a while. Mint condition is still on. It is Gonzo now, though. There he goes. Oh, right, I have glowing coal, don't forget. Whoopsie. Little cheeky resist. I'm trying not to be in front of him right before he attacks. He, like, calculates his next move a little bit earlier than you think. So, like, halfway through each attack, you can kind of run away. And if he didn't do the headbutt most recently, he's probably going to use it next if he detected you in melee range relatively recently. I hope that sentence made sense. It makes him very manipulatable. Manipulatable? Makes him easier to manipulate is how I describe it. Boink. Hello? Resisted. Got a lot of resists here. Oh, God. Over his last phase, he can use the headbutt twice in a row, potentially. Ooh-ah. Here come the spermies. Probably gonna use the headbutt. I can't. We ran out slightly early, probably. Send him back, baby. All right, show us Scorch on the top. Come on, let's go. Show us the big Hestia run. Hey, there it is. Blitz is number 2. Specials, attack. The boost is up there, huh? I'm a little surprised. I'm actually slightly surprised. But that was fun. I do think Hestia, like, as much as I don't take her, it's just hard to know when to, like, finally do that dive. Like, okay, here's, like, an average run, and things have lined up. That means we're going to take all the Hestia, you know? That kind of thing. But it was cool, right? Thermal Dynamics was there. Well, not so much Romantic Spark, probably. But even those are probably okay. We probably didn't need Burning Desire, right? Given that we invested in it. Maybe that's kind of one way to look at it. You just want one little Scorch, and then you go for Burning Desire, and then you go for things to make the Scorch hit harder instead, like Pyrotechnique, and you avoid other boons instead. So is that weird that the ultimate Hestia run might involve, like, only 2 Hestia? Potentially. I mean, potentially at least. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed ourselves. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what's going on. If you want to see more Hades 2 crap, you know what to do. If you got ideas for builds, I'm willing to hear it too. Show me down in the comments. Thank you again. I'll see you in another video.